why we live on autopilot, and how to wake up. Have you ever had a moment where you suddenly looked at your life and thought, when did everything start feeling automatic? You wake up, check your phone, answer messages, do what needs to be done, move through the day, come home tired, distract yourself for a while, and then do it all again tomorrow. Nothing is dramatically wrong, but something feels missing. You are functioning, but not fully feeling. You are moving, but not fully present. You are living, but in some strange way, not fully inside your own life. I think a lot of people are living like this, not because they are lazy, not because they do not care, but because somewhere along the way, survival became stronger than awareness. And when survival takes over, life becomes routine before it becomes meaningful. Today, I want to talk about autopilot, why so many people live this live people's fast way, why it feels so hard to snap out of it, and what it means to wake up again, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The truth is, autopilot does not always begin as a bad thing. Sometimes it begins as protection. When life becomes stressful, painful, repetitive, or overwhelming, the mind learns how to simplify. It creates habits. It reduces awareness. It helps you get through. And for a while, this can be useful. Routine can protect you when life is chaotic. It can carry you when you are tired. It can keep you moving when you do not have the energy to deeply feel everything. But what begins as protection can slowly become disconnection. And one day you realize you are no longer using routine. Routine is using you. You no longer choose your days. You repeat them. You no longer ask yourself what matters. You just respond to what is urgent. You no longer check in with your inner life. You just keep going. And this is how many people become strangers to themselves. They know their responsibilities. They know their schedule. They know what others expect from them, but they do not know what they actually feel anymore. They do not know what they truly want. They do not know what part of their life is nourishing them and what part is quietly draining them, because autopilot is dangerous in a quiet way. It does not always destroy your life dramatically. Sometimes it simply makes you absent from it. You laugh, but only halfway. You listen, but not fully. You work, but without joy. You rest, but never deeply. You move through weeks and months almost as if you are completing tasks instead of inhabiting your life. And the scariest part is that this can start to feel normal. That is what makes autopilot so powerful. It makes disconnection feel ordinary. A lot of people think they are tired because they are busy. And yes, sometimes that is true, but sometimes they are tired because they have been living too long without inner presence. There is a different kind of exhaustion that comes from not being emotionally awake in your own life. It is the exhaustion of doing without reflecting, giving without reconnecting, performing without pausing, continuing without asking whether the direction still makes sense. And eventually the soul feels neglected. Not in a dramatic way, in a quiet way, a dullness, a numbness, a loss of color, a sense that your days are passing but not landing. This is often the real cost of autopilot. Not that life becomes hard, but that life becomes flat. So, why do people stay there? Because waking up is uncomfortable. To become present again means noticing things. It means seeing what you have been avoiding. It means admitting that some parts of your life no longer fit. It means recognizing how long you have been disconnected, or emotionally asleep. And that can be painful because awareness changes your responsibilities. Once you truly see that something is wrong, empty, or untrue, it becomes harder to keep pretending. That is why many people prefer noise. Noise helps them avoid themselves. Constant scrolling, constant busyness, constant entertainment, constant talking, constant stimulation, all of it can become a way of staying unfocused enough not to feel the deeper questions. Am I happy with who I am becoming? Do I actually like the life I am building? What am I running from? What have I not allowed myself to feel? What has been missing for a long time? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are also the beginning of waking up. Because waking up does not mean suddenly fixing your whole life. It means becoming honest enough to finally feel it. And honesty is powerful. The moment you stop saying, this is just how life is, and start saying, something inside me has been asleep, change becomes possible. Not instant change, but real change. I think waking up begins in very small ways. It begins when you sit in silence for a few minutes and resist the urge to immediately grab your phone. It begins when you take a walk and actually notice the sky, the air, your breath, your thoughts. It begins when you ask yourself, what am I feeling today? Really? It begins when you stop rushing to fill every empty space. It begins when you allow yourself to feel boredom without escaping it, sadness without numbing it, uncertainty without drowning it in distractions. Because presence is built through attention, and attention is one of the most sacred things we have. Whatever you repeatedly give your attention to will shape your inner world. If your attention is always scattered, your life will feel scattered. If your attention is always consumed by noise, your mind will feel noisy. If your attention never returns to your inner life, then even success can feel strangely empty. This is why waking up is not just about changing what you do, it is about changing how you are inside what you do. You can still work, but with awareness. You can still have responsibilities, but with presence. You can still live an ordinary life, but in a way that feels inhabited instead of numb. And maybe that is what many people are really hungry for. Not a completely different life, but a deeper relationship with the life they already have. To taste their food again, to hear conversations again, to feel music again, to pray with presence again, to sit with loved ones without half their mind being somewhere else, to experience moments instead of only moving through them. That kind of life is not louder, it is more alive. And I think one of the saddest things in the world is not failure. It is sleepwalking through years you will never get back. Not because you made huge mistakes, but because you were never fully there. So if you have been feeling disconnected lately, maybe do not judge yourself too quickly. Maybe you are not lazy. Maybe you are not broken. Maybe you are not ungrateful. Maybe you are simply waking up to how long you have been living on autopilot. And that realization, painful as it may be, is actually a gift. Because you cannot return to your life until you notice you have left it. So start small, pause a little longer, listen a little deeper, notice a little more. Be honest a little more often. Come back to your body. Come back to your breath. Come back to your values. Come back to the people and moments in front of you. Come back to yourself. You do not need a dramatic transformation overnight. Sometimes a meaningful life begins with one simple decision: to stop passing through your days half awake, to stop treating your life like something to get through, to stop waiting for some future moment to finally feel alive. Because life is not only happening later, it is happening now. And maybe waking up is simply this: learning to be here again.